Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We're in a different setting today, kind of like a chilled vibe. So from today's title you'll be able to tell that today's video is going to be around periods, PMS, training, all of that. It's a bit of a TMI, girls talk kind of video, so if you want to grab a tea, a coffee, a snack, go and get it, boo boo. So let's get straight into it. Periods. Lord, would I pay money to never have a period again? Oh my god, like I love the fact that God is telling me, Mother Nature is telling me, boo boo, you're not pregnant, but please honey, the pain, oh my god. I'm gonna give you guys my experience of my PMS, my training and everything, and then we're gonna go and talk about the myths around training, the benefits around training on your period, and then like management and how you can manage with different conditions. So my PMS experience. So I'm 23. I first got my period when I was 10, 11 I think. I remember the first day I came on my period. Oh my god, I was home alone. My mum was out. I remember I called, I was like, mummy, yeah, there's red stuff in my panties. She was like, oh my god, my daughter's having a period. You know how mums can get. Anyway, so I've had my period for years now, and like I said, I'm one of the people who would say I train on my period, but I've learned ways to manage my symptoms, and I know my body enough to know when's good for me and when's not good for me. So the symptoms I get in my PMS is I get really bad lower back pain, which can sometimes mean that walking is a task for me, bending down is a task for me, even sitting is a task for me. I get seriously bad stomach cramps, so sometimes I've got like a hot water bottle on my front and on my back just to try ease the pain. Lately I've started to get nausea. I feel quite sick in the mornings, which make you just want to stay at home because I just have like low energy, stomach's just all over the place. But those are like my three major symptoms. I have a heavy flow. Guys, I said this video is TMI, so if you not really into periods and you don't really want to know about periods, then maybe skip to my next video. But yeah, so I have a really heavy flow, especially my first day. So on that day I will still train, but I will normally do like a deload. So with my training I have 3 weeks, which is like my hypertrophy strength weeks, and then I have a deload week, and this is always centered around my periods, because I've been tracking my periods for like 4 or 5 years now, so I kind of know, when my periods come. So I plan my training, so I always plan my training around my period. I'm on my period for 4 days, so I always plan my training around that, and for them 4 days would be like a deload week my deload week, where I would increase my calories ever so slightly because I'm so tired. My estrogen levels, my progesterone levels are so low, hence, which is what makes us tired as females, and then reduce the weights, reduce the amount of reps I do, and really focus on my form and developing that mind to muscle connection. So I won't do any squats, any deadlifts or anything like that, because very fatiguing. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to say, they're very fatiguing. So I don't have enough energy to allow me to do them reps. I'll do a lot of like mobility work, stretch work, like still do something, some walk, some cardio, because I feel like that eases my pain a little bit. So yeah, the benefits of, I would say, and I've done some research around this, like let me put a disclaimer here, I am not a gynecologist, I am not a doctor, but I have experience and I have friends, okay? My friends are female, I'm a female myself. So some of the benefits I would say from training on your period is, one, you're going to release endorphins, which are released when you train anyway. This can, one, enhance your mood. If you're a female who gets really emotional when she's on her period, she cries for no reason, she gets angry for no reason, then training will definitely level out that emotional period for you. Another thing I would say is it can reduce any lower back pain, any inflammation that you have within your body. It's a stress reliever, so if you're like worried about things, or you know, you feel a bit like so insecure because we bloat a lot when we're on our periods, then once you, initially it may be hard to get to the gym, but once you come out and once you've done your session, you'll be in like a sense of like, you'll be in like a euphoric state. Let's talk about management, how to actually go about training on your period. So I'm going to give you a few tips that I've learned from myself and through watching other videos from other fitness influencers. One thing I would say is create a log. If you have an app, I have the health app on my iPhone. I'll go ahead and show you. With this, I note when my periods are. Let me find it. Body measurements. Cycle tracking. There we go. Don't know if you guys can see. So on here, I track when they are. I track how heavy it is, how light it is, what symptoms I have, and then every month my tracker lets me know when my period is due for the next month. So definitely, if you don't want to use this, or you don't have another app, I think there's an app called Cycle or something. There's definitely apps out there in the App Store and the Google Play Store. If not, if you want to be like traditional, create a logbook. When your period comes, note the date, note how long it lasts for, note the heaviness, note how you're feeling when you're on, and then when you're training, when you do train, note how you felt during the session, how you feel after the session, and then over the months you'll be able to collect data, and you'll be able to see like a correlation between exercise and your periods, and you'll be able to notice like, okay, by me doing this or by me not doing that, I feel this way, I feel that way. And that's the only way for you to really learn about your body. It's something that I've been doing. I don't personally note it down in a logbook, but I know my body very, very, very well because I study my body and I take note of the different changes that are happening. So definitely creating that logbook. If you have a PT, whether they're male or female, it depends if you're comfortable. Me, I'm a female, so my clients, I'm happy for my clients to bring that logbook to me and be like, Kia, my period's here, I'm for this, this and this. Then it's good for me to know when I'm planning their program how to plan around their time of the month, because ultimately we don't all have the same body, not everyone experiences the same thing, so it's only really for you to know what works best for you. So that's my one tip. My second tip, I said it previously, have a deload week. So if you're someone who has regular periods, I would definitely, and you plan your training or you have a PT or something, let them know, or you know yourself, be like, from the 4th to the 7th, for example, or 8th if you have a 4-day period, 5-day period, know that from them days I'm going to be feeling this way. From them days I still want to train, but we're going to reduce the weight and we're going to reduce the amount of reps. Like I said prior, really focus on your form, creating that mind to muscle connection. Maybe do some yoga in that time. Yoga can really help with any muscle pain that you have. Doing some cardio can help eliminate any bloating or anything you have. It's a good relief and it really helps ease up the cramps or any pains that you have within your stomach or your lower back. So make your logbook, do a deload week. This is more towards diet. Maybe bump up your calories ever so slightly during your time of the month. I'm someone, I get cravings my week prior, so that's how I know it's coming. I don't give in to them cravings during that time because I'm training hard. The week before, my hormone levels are extremely high the week before my period comes, and then the days I have my period, I bump up my calories a little bit. I give myself some leeway because there's a lot going on in the body at that time, and because your energy levels are so low, having them extra calories can give you that extra energy just to keep you going throughout the day. And if you're someone who eats a lot of chocolate on your period, or I don't know what else, people eat cheese, some people eat cheese on their period, I'm one of them people. Yeah, it just helps, like, help with them cravings and stuff. And like I said, this is your deload week, this is your rest week, so see this as like a refeed and a deload. And then when you go back in from your week after, when your hormone levels are spiked back up, then you go straight back onto your dieting. So yeah, like I said, logbook, deload week, increase your calories ever so slightly. PCOS, as of recently, it's becoming a lot more common in women. Don't quote me, I don't know the percentage of in how many women people get PCOS, but it's polycystic ovary syndrome. It's when the lining of your ovaries, you have little cysts on your ovaries basically. Some are bigger than others, but it's very common in women. And I've met a lot of people now who have PCOS. So for me personally, I've had to go out and do my own research. Like I said, I'm not a gynecologist, I'm not a GP, but I've gone and I've researched and tried to understand what it is and how I can then help you plan your training around it. So if you don't know what it is, I'll give you a background. Like I said, it's polycystic ovaries. It can cause high cholesterol, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, and some kind of pregnancy complications in some women, not in all women. You have a higher insulin resistance. This can affect your body, which can mean that you find it harder for you to lose, you find it hard to lose weight. You store a lot of fat, a lot of water in your body, because essentially insulin's in carbohydrates, insulin's sugar. So yeah, people with PCOS find it really, really hard to lose weight. I would say with that, one thing you can do with your training with that is definitely reduce the amount of carbs that you're intaking. But when you reduce it, monitor how your body's reacting to the reduced carbohydrate intake. I would definitely say train at least 3 times a week, just so you can burn the fat and you can reduce your BMI. With a lower BMI, you have a decreased risk of having insulin resistance, hence you'll be able to lose weight. Yeah, so just to recap all of that I just said, if you are someone who suffers with PCOS, then reduce the amount of carbs that you're intaking, increase your activities levels, so make sure you're doing at least 2 to 3 moderate exercises per week. This could be HIIT style, strength training style, some steady state cardio, in order to reduce your fat, reduce your BMI, and that will stop your insulin from resisting and not being absorbed in your bloodstreams. Another problem that some females have, and they may struggle with, endometritis. Now, I struggle with pronunciation, so if I said that wrong, then go ahead and correct me in the comments. But endometritis, I think that's how it's pronounced. This is a condition where the lining on your ovaries, so when you have your periods, you bleed because the lining of your uterus is shedding. That's the blood that's coming off. With endometritis, there's the bits of your lining are not just leaving your ovaries, it's shedding off into other parts of your womb, and this in turn can cause really, really bad lower back pains, like really bad PMS symptoms, and again it can lead to like pregnancy complications, all that kind of stuff. It's not as detrimental as PCOS, I wouldn't say it has as much effect on like your weight and stuff. It's more like pain management with that one. Exercise and reduce your estrogen levels, which is what leads which causes like your PMS symptoms. And with endometritis, there's no like clear diagnosis for that one. I'll openly say I'm in the works of going to a GP and trying to figure out whether I suffer from it myself. Like I said before, I get really, really bad lower back pains, nausea, pelvic pains, really bad stomach cramps. Like these are all symptoms of it, but because it's so hard to detect, it's kind of a thing where you just need to note what's happening. But I've noticed with my training and stuff, it doesn't affect me when I'm training, when I'm on my period. Like sometimes I'm just like, oh, I can't be asked, but it's more of like a mental thing for me. I'm like, B, you gotta get this done. Like it's 4 days, firm it for 4 days. Like I take 1 rest day in the week, probably like my heaviest day, because if I train that day, then I'm sleeping for like 18 hours. I'll just be drained. But I hope this video was helpful. I hope this video was useful. I tried to explain it to the best of my ability. I am not a gynecologist, I'm not a GP. I've said this so many times, but I really, really, really want to make it clear. I am just a personal trainer who's decided to go out of her way and do her own research into periods, and hopefully I can help other women. If you have more specific questions for me, then please let me know. I'll try help you as much as I can, but I hope this video gave you a bit more insight into what periods are, how to manage your training around it and your diet around it, and the different hormonal difficulties, I'll call it, I don't know what the correct term is, that other women can have, and how you manage your training around it. So don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. I'll leave all my social media links and stuff in the description box below, so make sure you follow my Instagram and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah.